what's wrong with my sound, but here we are trying to live stream. Hello, we're missing some of the Snark crew today, but we're here and, we've used our hand sanitizer and we're ready to tackle Ashley Molstad, hand, foot, and mouth disease and her podcast in under an hour. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, but we're going to try. I'm going to let Cheryl introduce her, or actually, Amber, do you want to go first? Because you always have to go last for some reason. Amber is our eye candy for our stream, and we're here for it. And all of y'all are, but yes, we love it. Okay,
no,
I'm gonna download
I am a hot mess today because my body is still messed up from that football game on Sunday night. Okay,
oh, no.
But that's why I sound like this. But hello, everybody. It's me, Amber Nye. As you all probably already know, I was a Beachbody coach for 5 years. Hit the aforementioned coveted diamond rank, and I worked really hard to get there, despite what my upline or former team may say. And once I hit that, it was very stressful to try to keep that, and then it all fell out from under me. And now I'm here just speaking out about the manipulative and deceptive tactics that Beachbody teaches their coaches to use to reel vulnerable people in who, like myself, struggled with their body issues and their self-confidence and dealing with toxic diet culture. And now I share my story so others will know to avoid Beachbody completely. So, Jen, I'll send it to you next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jen Baruso. I am a former Beachbody coach, now certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. I was in Beachbody on and off for 7 years. I did qualify for 1-star diamond and quit. I was in 1-star qualifying. I said, I'm done. Can't do it anymore. Cheryl hates it because I rarely actually worked the business. Hates it. But yeah, so I work to help women heal their relationships with food and their bodies and teach them that you don't have to end up feeling like crap about exercise. You don't have to do it if you hate it. Strength training isn't for everybody. Actually, it is for everybody. Not do cardio all day, every day. And you can have ice cream and cookies if you want it.
Love that.
All right, Cheryl, up to you. And
all right. Yes. My name is Cheryl Spears. I am the host of the Call Cheryl Hunt podcast. Every member of the Snark crew has actually been on the podcast now, which I think I need to have another round with all of you. But that's besides the point. We'll talk about that later. But what do I do? For my podcast, I empower, people to basically share their stories about, their life in the MLM. Help. I'm not a therapist, so I can't say I help them heal, but I feel like getting their stories out and letting other people hear them actually can help others leave the MLM. It is not just about Beachbody, but for some reason, that's pretty much all we talk about. And also, I like to post snarky stuff on Instagram. So if you want to see snarky stuff, it is now on the Call Cheryl Hunt podcast Instagram, just so you all know, because that's a different story. But yeah, that's what I'm here for. And like Jen said, I was an Emerald coach for 8 years. And I worked very hard to be an Emerald coach for 8 years. Dang it. Very hard.
I love that. I love all of y'all's varied stories. They're all so different. Yeah. And I think that it gives a lot of opportunity for people to learn from y'all. I was never in Beachbody. I did use P90X on and years with my dad, but I never joined the multi-level marketing opportunity. I didn't even know it was an MLM until recently. And I got out of Young Living last year, been trying to make content. I love doing the live streaming type of things. And the Snark crew kind of enveloped me in a warm, non-culty hug. And I'm so glad to be here and be a part of the commentary. Sometimes I cry a lot, but I try not to do it on the Snark streams, but we'll see what happens. We're talking about Ashley Molstad tonight, and, it may just happen. Just a few of the boring rules. We try not to do ad hominem attacks. We try to be respectful about kids' children because they don't have choice being exploited. Parents, unfortunately, we don't comment on like clothing or just be respectful with a little bit of spice. So if that sounds like it's a good deal for you, great. We'd love to have you in the live chat or in the replay crew. And yeah, we're here to talk about kind of hard topics with a little bit of class and a lot of snark. And and we're excited to do this. So can one of y'all, Amber, Jen, or Cheryl, give people a 30-second what the hell happened? Because things hit the fan at the Molstad residence from what I saw and heard. And I was shocked. I was like, what the hell happened? I woke up and I said, oh my God, what is going on?
Y'all want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, I took a nap and I woke up and to a message of somebody saying, oh my God, Ashley Molstad has snapped. And I was like, what? So I go to her stories and I see her stories and I'm like, it doesn't look like she snapped. Like she just looks like she's just talking like she normally does. Well, most of the things that she part of the reason I believe she snapped, and I'll tell you this in a minute. Earlier that morning, she talked about how Mac her son, had like spots or something on his feet. And she was suspecting that he had hand, foot, and mouth disease. And, anytime you post stuff or especially her on Instagram, she's going to get like a flood of messages coming in. Well, she then proceeds to, I don't know, really talk smack to her following about the messages that were coming in, about how they were doomsday messages. And she did snap, but she deleted them. And before she deleted them, a wonderful person on Instagram was able to record the stories. Even Ashley came on afterwards, after she deleted them, and said that she is a life coach professional. And it was not very professional of her. So she deleted them. But we've got the receipts.
Oh boy.
And she also
now
deleted
let me ask.
video
Go ahead, sorry.
at the zoo.
At the zoo. Mm-hmm.
So
she basically
just a rant.
Yeah. She says that. So instead of taking her child to the doctor to see if her child has hand, foot, and mouth, she decided to take him to the zoo.
Oh, what?
Now, does anybody 100% know what hand, foot, mouth is?
I worked in preschool.
I do.
Yes. Yes. And if you're not a parent or work around children, if you don't know what hand, foot, mouth disease is, it's a virus, and it mainly is in school-age children. She said there was an outbreak at his daycare last week, and he's now contagious and showing symptoms. And you're most contagious when you have the open source.
The first you can be contagious without even the open source because it's transmitted through coughing, through sneezing. So even before those sores showed up over the weekend, he was contagious.
Yeah, and now he has sores, open sores on his face. I think he's starting to get it on his hands, but she's got him everywhere, touching everything. Touching.
He was just at the zoo yesterday, all over the place.
Yes, on the carousel. That's why she deleted the story, because she had him on that carousel, and she didn't wipe down anything afterwards.
See, Harper asking that question, is it like thrush or something? So, I mean, I guess I'm going to say my age. I'm 41 years old. My kids, when they were younger, I don't remember this ever being an issue. Do you, Jen?
Yeah, my oldest had it.
Oh, my kids never got it.
Ray had it when I was pregnant with Declan, and I was terrified that I was going to get it when I was pregnant, because I know a lot of friends who that happened to them. You know, their oldest kid got it when they were pregnant, and it was the most miserable they had ever been in their life. Terrible.
You know, and it's sad because of the fact that that poor kid, like his mom, like they never get to relax and rest.
Nope.
Ever. That's why they're always sick.
So if someone comes into this stream and they're like, oh my gosh, we're just shaming moms, what's the difference between being specific and saying, look, not only are you not advocating for your kid, you're exposing your kid to other kids who could get sick. And so, like, could one of y'all, as being a mom, because I'm not, speak to that?
I would be pissed if I found out somebody came over to my house or had. I would be pissed. Like, you know, they're sick and you aren't keeping them home.
It potentially exposing, you know, a immunocompromised child or person like me. My medicine that I'm on makes me immunocompromised. That's why, even though I was outside, like just being out in the cold just severely affected my sinuses. So now, like, I'm like trying to recover from that. But even, you know, if a, you know, immunocompromised kid got that, it could just make them very, very sick. Whereas, you know, for Matt, he's feeling perfectly fine and like his normal self. But, you know, that might not be the case for another kid, another family.
Yep.
And like Emma said, Ashley's more concerned about herself getting sick than anybody else. Like, hello, she's still having a birthday party this weekend for him.
Yes, what Emma just said, that was part of the thing that I talked about on my YouTube, is the fact that she sells a pyramid scheme that preaches time freedom, but she is choosing not to use that free time to help her child rest and heal. She never does, ever.
Yep.
No, she complained about having to cancel her clients because the kids were home and John was at the fantasy baseball camp. Like,
I mean, wild. It's wild. It seems
sounded very inconvenienced at the fact that she had to be home with 2 sick kids when John was away, and she just seemed very annoyed by that. But remember when she was at leadership and the kids were sick, and John was the one who was home with the sick kids, and she was like just so flustered that she had to drive back down to her house to stay the night, and she couldn't stay and party with Shannon and everybody else because the kids were sick, and John asked her to please come home and help when it's like a 30-minute drive. It's just
25 minutes.
And they're at a basketball game today. Well, this is just great for Arizona. So, public service announcement in Arizona, there isn't going to be a major outbreak of hand, foot, and mouth disease around you all.
It's
oh crap!
It's already happening in the schools right now, in the preschools. I have friends that still teach. Like, that's how he got it. It was at the kids that they had an outbreak at the school last week. Like, he's contagious until at least next Wednesday.
Look, I read that what the CDC says, and that's exactly what they said. I made sure.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. Savannah's in Arizona.
Me too.
Yep. And it's just like one of those things where, you know, and I hate to say the obvious stuff out loud, but germs and viruses are real, and you know, and they can impact other people. And if you don't understand how those things are transmitted, then you might need to brush up on, just your general science understanding. And I don't say that like condescendingly, but like what you do impacts other people, whether you like it or not. And especially when you can be impacting children, like at least take a second and say, holy crap, I could be negatively impacting other kids because, my kid's sick. And
I absolutely love that you said impact right there, because she went off in her stories about people's intentions might be good with these messages, but the impact on me is bad. What about what you're doing to, like,
because she feel the negative recourse that she got for being Ashley.
My thing yesterday with that was like, so you're putting it out there what is going on, right, with your life. And people are coming in and sharing their experiences with you, trying to connect with you, and you shit all over them. It's like, they're trying to connect with you. Hey, this is our experience. It's not it's not doomsday. It's like, this is what happened.
Yeah. So like,
just to give you a heads up. Hey, it could be bad.
Take it seriously, because this is what we experienced, and it's not fun.
Well, and maybe people were telling her like the doomsday outcome because they know it's Ashley, and maybe telling her the worst case scenario would make Ashley
take it seriously.
What Ashley's doing, right? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
DC, were you able to get that link?
Is she frozen?
Is she frozen? Or is she playing a really good game of freeze tag?
I think she's frozen.
She hasn't blinked, so I think she's frozen.
So she asks the questions even though she doesn't want the answers, because the answers, when they answer her, they give her the engagement and it increases her reach. It's all a social media game for her.
Yeah, you're right.
All it is. It's all about engagement. That is it.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, let me load the video in. I have it right here. I accidentally disconnected from my VPN and it lost the video.
Hey, when you start the video,
I hope you're feeling better.
DC, when you start the video, Mac is at the very beginning of it, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gosh. How do I hide this?
Emma, you're absolutely right. The messages she shared were not unkind. They were hopeful. Her brain was
I don't know how to hide
that.
Do you want me to try to cut it real quick and y'all just talk?
Oh, let me just fast forward it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I guess we don't need to see that part, or should? Yeah, there we go.
You don't need to see it.
I'll just fast forward it.
Playing. I mean, he's just playing and grabs a hold of like rails and stuff.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's be here.
God, sometimes y'all really just make me want to,
right?
Yep.
Fucking not cross your path ever. We brought sanitizer to the park. We brought Clorox wipes, wiped everything down. But I felt not to the park, to the zoo. But it's a Monday. There was nobody there today. It was raining.
What does raining like impact the efficacy or like how fast germs spread? Because I don't think so.
No, and it may have been raining here, but that's when people go to the zoo, not when it's 120. And it was a school holiday.
Wow.
There were people at the zoo.
God dang it.
And I thought that was like a safe thing to do. He feels totally fine.
Just because you feel fine does not mean that you cannot be spreading a virus or spreading germs. And I'm not trying to villainize the kid, but did you not go to 7th grade science class or biology or chemistry? Like, maybe you didn't. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean. I don't even have an advanced science degree. I'm just saying I paid attention in my middle school years. I don't get it.
Hand, foot, and mouth disease spreads easily through person-to-person contact, respiratory droplets containing virus particles when an infected person coughs or sneezes, contact with contaminated surfaces or objects. It has nothing really to do with the amount of gross stuff coming out of the blisters.
Wow. The fact that Ashley's so offended that people said, hey, by the way, you know what? If I was doing something like that and the snark crew was like, hey, look, like, not to ring you out in public, but you shouldn't be doing that because of this. I would have been like, holy shit, okay, like, thank you for telling me. That's just me. Or even someone in my community, like, do I get all the best messages? No, but from the people who actually, like, follow on YouTube and actually give a damn, they're like, hey, did you ever think about this? I'm like, I did not. Or, thanks for letting me know. Okay, like, I don't get it. I don't get why she's so offended. Other than she knows what she did was wrong.
Instead of Google searching and pulling up the CDC website, which she didn't share what I just talked about. She could have called the doctor.
Right.
Like, hey, what is the procedure? What are the precautions I need to take for this problem? There was an outbreak at a school. What do I need to do? And they would say, he needs to stay home.
Yeah.
And if she tries to take him to preschool tomorrow, I sure as hell hope that they send them. Nope, can't come in. I hope someone from that preschool follows her and sees all this crap.
Yep.
Because if I was a teacher there, I would be pissed.
My oldest son got COVID last year, and I was the only one that was in close quarters with him while before we found out if he was positive or not. So I quarantined to my bedroom. He quarantined to his bedroom, and everybody else around the house just stayed away from us.
Yeah.
We didn't go to the zoo and go play, like that's just, it's so, like, we're not mom shaming somebody, because I would never want to mom shame someone, right? Because how you raise your kid is how you raise your kid, as long as the kid is healthy and it's whatever. But Ashley, when your kid is contagious with, it's a disease, a virus that can really be very brutal to a lot of children. You don't, like, you deserve to be mom shamed. I'm sorry. You deserve it. You deserve all the backlash you're getting.
Yeah, and even still, she's on a different level, other than just like not a run of the mill, but someone who's not online, someone who's not a public figure. Because I would say that Ashley is a public figure. She's been on local news stations. She went viral on the internet. She was a top person in Beachbody. She kind of portrays herself as someone to be giving advice. She has a podcast giving shitty advice as well, and here she is setting an example that is just awful. Because what about people, and again, this isn't a lemming situation, but what about people who look up to Ashley and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to be influenced by Ashley? They don't obviously make that active whatever, but there are people who do, like Ashley Molstad, who kind of look up to her or at least get influenced by her. And like, what example are you setting? At least set an example based in science, not on what you wish science was, or not what you wish, how germs behaved or how viruses behaved. Like, it's a kind of like a cut and dry thing.
Yeah, science is pretty, cut and dry. It's easy to understand, especially when all of the facts and the data is laid out there for you. It's pretty easy to understand.
Well, I think I need to explain to people how much of a mind warp Ashley Molstad can have you in, okay? Because I literally, like, worshipped Ashley Molstad years ago, okay? Like, no joke. Everything she said was golden, because I thought she was just, like, the smartest businesswoman in the world. I remember when COVID came around, right? And people were talking about it, but not, like, really taking it seriously before the big lockdown, okay? I was listening to Ashley's podcast, You Can Sip With Us, with Colleen, and they started talking about it. And I can take you back to that episode where they started talking about how people should really start to take this seriously. They were actually for people believing in science and actually trying to take it seriously, right? But until I heard Ashley Molstad say that, I never even thought twice about it. I came home to my husband and said, have you been hearing about COVID? And should we, like, start to really, like, use hand sanitizer and make sure that, you know, we're wearing a, like, I don't know, the mask thing wasn't even out then, you know, but should I be careful when I'm going into my stores? Like, that's what kind of hold Ashley has on people. And you can see it from like people that she shares to her stories that tell her that her podcast is now considered their personal development. I used to
like,
be those
and
people.
the episodes are life changing to them, and it's like, whoa.
And all she's doing is plagiarizing other people's content.
Yeah,
and misrepresenting
and twisting it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
to fit
this is why
her narrative, her brain.
I think that's why I go so hard for her, because I'm like, not only with Beachbody, I was literally in the Ashley Molstad warp mind zone. Who else do you know spends almost $700 on a product they never get, but still never really wants to rock the boat, but sends one email or two emails asking them if they could please help them get access to it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, oh, I just don't want to make her mad at me.
Yeah.
People really do see her that way.
Yeah, and you know, we do go hard for Ashley. Probably Cheryl's leading the charge on her reels, and so is Amber, and you know, Jen and Amy, and we don't want this to be a position where we're like, okay, we're just gonna tear Ashley down so you don't like her anymore. We're trying to be specific about saying this is dangerous, or this is deceptive, or this is inaccurate, or whatever, and please be able to have a good foundation for science, for understanding nutrition, understanding, like, at least going to someone and saying, like, make the decision for yourself, but don't take all of these people you've platformed, these influencers, these celebrities, these whoever, that they're speaking the truth with a capital T. You know, there's some, you have to be able to vet what people say. And in this situation with what Ashley's doing is dangerous for other kids, and it's setting a really bad example.
All right, let's finish watching her.
Oh God. Buckle up.
We're not touching, we're not next to anybody. And we sanitized everything. I mean, I'm sanitizing everything for us. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Moms this season are going through it. And I get that you're an angel mom, a perfect mom who never does anything that anyone would criticize, and you deserve.
What?
Moms this season, look, you can't just say because your children are sick all the time because you never allow them to get better, that all moms this season are going through it.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't.
I mean, I'm going through it, but for different reasons. I have teenagers.
Sure. Yeah, and a lot of moms are going through it because she let her kid, who is still in the stage of being contagious, around other children. So, I mean, at least acknowledge and take responsibility for your part in this equation, in my opinion. I mean, at least say...
She doesn't know how to take responsibility for her behavior. It's always her brain's fault or somebody else's fault.
Your thought, your brain
yeah,
and
fault. That just seems so exhausting to be in that mindset where, or, you know, nothing's ever your fault. I just don't even know what to say. I'm just...
to be in the gold medal. And also, talk to your school and your doctors, but a fucking Google search would tell you that they're actually most contagious when they've got a fever, actually even before the blisters. But as long as they don't have any oozing blisters, no new spots, they're fine. Wrong.
Oh my God. I just, like... I don't know where she's getting some of this information. I don't know why she's also adamantly determined to pretend she's right as well when she's very wrong about the information she's sharing. I don't get it.
So just leave me the fuck alone. I'm like so over it. I'm so spent. This is not very life coach of me, and I need to go journal and be like, I can choose a better thought. But right now I'm just annoyed that so many of you are ignorant assholes.
What? So many of us are ignorant assholes?
Well, I mean, ignorance is bliss, Ashley.
I mean, so she shared in her stories a screenshot from the CDC website. But she skipped past the causes and transmissions and how it spreads to, because it's common and usually mild, children can continue to go to childcare and schools as long as they have no fever, have no uncontrolled drooling with mouth sores, and feel well enough to participate. That's what she shared. She didn't share the other stuff.
Yeah.
She just scrolled that page to find what fit her narrative to make her feel better about sending them to school. That's how we
talk about this all the time.
What she did.
And we talk about this all the time. People in MLMs and other unethical people do that. They cherry pick what they want that fits what they want to say. When if you ignore like the whole theme of the paper you're referencing or the book or the chapter or the paragraph or whatever, then you're lying, in my opinion. Like you're twisting stuff. And it's just, and what is she going to say? Like, oh yeah, I read this, and people are going to find that and say, okay, well, I know my kid's not contagious because Ashley Molstad said this, and she was sharing a screenshot of the website. Well, she missed a huge chunk of it before that. So we're just spreading misinformation at this point. I mean, man.
When I say so many, it's probably like
it's
hardly
misleading.
Yeah. But, you know, the squeaky wheel. You're the squeaky wheel. That's all you are, is the squeaky fucking wheel.
Engage with all my content and like all my posts and leave me nice comments, but when there's any negative feedback, you're just a squeaky wheel and you're not a part of my community. Okay.
You're a
all
hater.
right. Got it. Got it.
Bitter.
I mean, a lot of the stories that she shared that morning was just about the fact of the matter that she was upset with people for giving her like doomsday messages. I mean, and
they
what
weren't.
She was
they were just sharing their experience. That's not doomsday.
Yeah.
That's trying to connect with somebody you look up to on social media as an influencer. Think they come across. It's that parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
Like I connect with her. I relate to her. So I want to help her. So I'm going to share my experience. That's all that was. And she went to that.
Yeah. But she's also set up. She's also set up people, like she always asks for advice. She always asks for people to participate in polls. She always asks, what's your book recommendation? What do you like to eat? What do you blah, blah, blah. So she's already created this habit or this this atmosphere, this ecosystem for people to give their advice because she's trained them to give their advice. And so, but she only wants the positive feedback. She doesn't want the advice that is negative. And guess what? When you do something shitty, you get to feel bad about it. And I don't know how evolved that is, but you at least get to say like, oh my God, that was a bad decision and I'm sorry. How shocking would that be if Ashley said that?
Yep. Emma, if you're not in the headspace to navigate your DMs, put your phone down while you're reading your DMs in the heat of the moment.
But like, what if she, I mean, even though we go hard for Ashley, like what if instead of coming on and ranting and calling us all ignorant assholes, right? Sorry, everybody's channel. What if she did come on and say, you know what, guys, I didn't realize how bad hand, foot, and mouth disease was. And I really messed up today taking my child to the zoo. I'm going to make sure that when you know better, you do better. Right? Like, we would have been like, well, dang. Because sometimes when we watch her stories, we're like, she almost had it. Almost. This close.
Yeah.
She's that.
And if she does something good.
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, if she does something good or she does something like, hey, you know what? I was being shitty. I'm sorry. We would have been like, oh my God, a moment of clarity. Thank you, Ashley. We would have at least given her kudos for doing the right thing. Because it's not like, oh my gosh, we just really like ragging on Ashley Molstad and we're not even going to acknowledge anything that she does when she makes the right decision. Like, give me a break. We're not, I mean, we're little assholes. We're still human.
Big asshole.
You know what I mean? We're okay. Well, yeah. So, but we're still human. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna. I don't know. We play fair, I guess, or we try to sometimes.
We credit where credit is due.
Yeah. Oh, she's eating on her story again. Oh, what is this?
See, this is what she shared. This is the bottom of it. She skipped the whole top part of it.
Okay.
Karina.
Try to make this bigger.
She missed everything else. Like she went to the part that fit her narrative.
A quick Google search will actually show what the top part says.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a problem. Like, that's okay. It's not okay, but it's just frustrating that she did that.
Yep. You're right,
we're
Emma.
pressing play. I think
that
it's still
might
playing.
be the
There
end
we go.
of it. Oh.
Human nature to try to make a relatable story with a previous experience. You probably do it in a normal conversation too without realizing it.
I do, but I'm very aware of not spreading doomsday. They weren't spreading doomsday.
It's not doomsday to say like,
experience.
Hey, like that's contagious. You know what I mean? Like that's not doomsday to say like that's in reality that's contagious and you can make other kids sick or other people sick. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like that's a reality. That's not. We're not talking about
her comparison and her response here is way off base. Like the two aren't even equivalent. You talk about false equivalency. A kid with hand, foot, and mouth disease, and I'm sorry, I had to have an emergency C-section too, and thank goodness I had enough epidural.
Yeah.
Me too.
But that's not the same thing.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you distract or you try to say, oh my gosh, well, you're being too mean to me, so I'm going to share a story that is going to make you feel sorry for me. I mean, that's manipulative because it's instead of saying, and again, I'm not trying to belittle her situation. I'm saying you get to look the problem that you've created in the eyes and say like, I created that. That's my responsibility. I'm sorry. And I'm going to do better next time, or I'm going to try my best to not do this again. And people would have grace for that instead of saying, oh, well, you remember that one time when I was even more hurt than you're hurt by the problem that I did to you? Like, give me some sympathy. It's like, no, we get to sometimes feel bad for the mistakes that we make. So,
not just blame our brains and our thoughts.
Your brains have thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts.
God. Okay.
Hold on. Let me find the screenshot. I have to remember it every day. Y'all go ahead. I'll read it.
I'm trying to see if there's another.
Mellow puddle.
Sorry, kid.
In that story, he touched the railing, and they kept walking. Yeah. She kept videoing and walking. She didn't sanitize.
Yep. Dang.
But the whole bottom line is that he shouldn't even. I mean, poor the kid. Everybody knows a kid when they're sick. They will act like they're perfectly fine, and then 1 minute they'll just be like, "Bam," right? Or and then a couple hours later, they'll be like back on running around the house. There's been times that I used to keep my kid home and be like, "Is he really sick? Like, should we have sent him to school today? Because homeboy is running around like crazy."
Yeah. But that's what the parents, in my understanding, it's like, that's why, you have parents and that's why your kids have y'all to be able to help them make the best decision and advocate for them and advocate for their health when they can't do it themselves. Because kids can't, from what I understand, they can't always regulate like, oh my gosh, I feel sick. I probably need to rest. So I totally feel better. They're like, I feel great now. Now I feel bad. Now I feel great now. And so it's like, that's what Ashley's supposed to be doing for her kids. Like, that's what, and I guess like, I know not everyone has great parents. Like, I don't remember my mom ever making us feel bad for being sick or like we were such a huge burden on her that we were just like the worst thing ever and what an inconvenience to be in the house and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I feel bad for her kids. I do.
Amber beat me to it.
Y'all are having a wild time in the chat.
I was sitting here singing the song in my head. You know shit.
Because we don't give a Hey.
We may have to save the podcast for another snot call, maybe when Amy can join us, because I think that was I don't know. It's a lot to process, Ashley being Ashley, and I don't know.
Yes.
Yep. She didn't want kids to begin with. And I know some parents who didn't want kids to begin with, and then they end up like liking, having kids or whatever.
I didn't ever expect to have kids. Like, it wasn't in my plan. But then I had Peyton, and it just evolved from there. So, but the difference is, like, I actually care when my kids are sick and hurting and there's something wrong. Like when Peyton had the flu, she at 3 a.m. she calls me on my phone from her bedroom saying that she can't breathe. So I'm like smacking Jake to wake him up, and I'm like, get upstairs and check on her because she says she can't breathe. And so like I was ready to call the ambulance if need be. Like,
But you could have taken her to the zoo. Amber, the zoo.
The poor thing was miserable. She was so sad. And the next day, she was a lot better. But she really wanted to go to the Halloween dance. And she wasn't 24 hours fever-free. So I was like, no, I'm sorry, you can't go. I'm sorry. I know you wanted to go. But you're just going to have to miss it. I'm sorry. But that's me keeping not only you safe so you can rest, but all of your friends and your classmates, keeping them from getting sick too.
Yep.
There is a misconception though, because I've seen some of the stories. Some people are saying that she took the kids to the zoo because John wasn't there, or he was at the baseball. He was at the zoo with them.
It was raining most of the day yesterday, so all of the fantasy baseball camps were rained out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they didn't have anything to do yesterday. That's probably why he was at the zoo. And it was still raining this morning too. Yeah. So I'm guessing that's why he was also there this morning for Mac's birthday.
Yeah.
And I hope, in a pretend world where everything was like sunshine and rainbows, Ashley would pivot and she would start advocating for her kid. And I'm for both of her kids, and also making decisions that would help them be healthy, but also help keep others healthy as well. And I hope that these videos, if any pushback that Ashley gets, makes her pause and think about making better decisions for her kids. And it's not about mom shaming. At least it's not about shaming moms. For me, I'm not a mom, but I have tons of respect for great moms. But also, I don't want parents exploiting their kids and treating them poorly. Like, your kid's sick, and not only that, you're taking a contagious kid around other kids, and that's pretty shitty to do, especially when you know better, and she knows. I know she knows better. I don't understand why she continues to do that. And I hope these videos make her pause, at least take another second and think, like, should I really do this? I hope that she changes. Man.
Oh, he was, Chelsea, he was on the couch because at the end of the story that after she deleted all the stories and then recorded a new one to be professional life coach, she showed him on the couch because he wanted to go to Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
You know what's professional? Like saying sorry when you're wrong. That's professional. Like, like taking accountability for the stuff that you did that wasn't great. That seems professional to me, but I'm not a certified life coach, so I don't know shit, apparently. So
you're more certified than she is.
Yeah, you're more. I think we're all more certified.
We're all more qualified, I should say.
Because you know what? Yeah. Say, go see a professional, an actual therapist. Go get therapy. Don't
once you figure shit out with your therapist, if you want to work with a life coach, work with a life coach. But therapy first, if you have access to it.
Because it's really hard because I'm still trying to get out of the mindset of like being in Beachbody and like knowing everything. You know what I mean? Like where we know everything. And so I'll catch myself with my stories and I'm like, oh no, I am not a professional. Do not listen to me. Go to a professional. Or if I've, like today about that whole 12 by 3 by 30, I was like,
it's just cardio.
I'm not even, I just saw this, and I am not even going to Google this because I will get caught up in a scheme.
There is nothing magical about that workout on a treadmill. Nothing. It's just cardio.
My treadmill doesn't incline anyway, so it's not a big deal. It's just a regular smegular treadmill.
Yeah, Emma said Ashley has been so worried about being a philanthropist lately when she could start by just thinking of others before herself, starting with germs. I think that's a good point. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a good
Jess,
point.
We were wondering where you were. Welcome back.
Why'd you leave us?
Well,
Amber,
we're probably gonna try. Yeah. How are you feeling,
Amber?
I am gonna go to bed early tonight, and hoping get in the shower that it'll help break up all this congestion.
Yeah. I hope you get better soon. I hope you start feeling better soon.
I want you to know that I started out like that, and I am not trying to tell you a doomsday story, okay? But my sickness started out in here and went down here, and now it won't go anywhere.
Well, no, see, I was fine, and then we were in 25-degree weather, and my thermal that I was wearing under all my stuff and my gloves, they weren't thermal enough, and it was like my face froze. My face was frozen, like my teeth were chattering at one point, and then it was like Sam Hubbard got the fumble and he ran it back for 98 yards. He was running straight at us. I stood up because the whole section, we were just run, Sam, run. And like my nose just like opened and it was like a faucet.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm not going to lie. I was rooting for the Ravens.
Look, I envy
more. Not this season.
I'm sure that my husband would wish to have people like a wife like you all, because for me with sports, the most that I do is go sports. Go. And
yay, sports ball.
Yay, sports ball.
Yes, Sherry. I was at the baseball game on Sunday. Me and my husband went. It was our last minute.
Watch sports, I would have to be live. But
it was amazing. It was amazing for my first NFL game and for it to be a playoff game. It was awesome.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I think it's been a short and sweet snark. I don't think we've ever been under an hour before.
We did it.
You know, it's a new year, new tradition. You know, we're going to have long snarks in the future, but we're trying to mix them up and maybe try to snark more. I'm like speaking that over us you know.
Hey, you know my availability.
Yeah. So, thanks for joining us live chat. You're always incredible with your commentary and the points that you bring up. I love getting to live stream because of the live chat. It's super fun.
Chat was fun tonight.
Yep. So thank you so much. Replay crew, much non-culty love to you. Let us know what you think about the Ashley hand, foot, mouth effery that hit the fan in the comment section.
Karina, we need to bring Karina on again.
Yes.
Karina. Yes, Karina needs to come on my Sunday show so she can just be like, she can be my reaction.
Yes.
What?
Absolutely.
Every day. So,
well, everyone be safe. For sure. Everyone be safe. Have a good night, and we will catch you on the next live stream. So, bye, everybody.
Bye.